Hello guys, good day everyone. This is the Creator Sludge. You welcome to my YouTube channel. Please, if this is your first time coming across my channel, do well to like, do well to subscribe, turn on the notification button so YouTube will notify you when next I drop a tutorial video like this. Alright guys, in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to design this flyer in the Pixellab application. So I'm going to try as much as possible to be fast because we'll be doing two flyers in today's tutorial. Now this is a social media flyer, or it's a social media ad, and it's for the company We Go Roy. We Go Roy. We Go Roy. Right now, when you want to talk about We Go Roy, is a brand that has to do with investment, money investment, and then the Roy there stands for return on investment. Now when you invest, it is expected that at certain duration, at the end of a certain duration or time, you get return on investment. So We Go Roy. Now you can look, when you look at this flyer, you're going to see smart invest, invest smartly, invest in dollar, invest as low as $1, withdraw at any time. Now all this is showing you all that all you need to know about the brand We Go Roy. All right, all you need to know about the brand. One thing you need to know about the brand is that you can invest in dollar, and another thing you need to know is that you can invest as low as $1, and another thing you need to know is that you can withdraw your investment at any time. Now you see invest with the one and only smart and reliable platform, and then you see the website, and then you see the contact details. Now everything on this design looks amazing. Now when you look at the 3D icon I used, you're going to see that it's an icon of a guy raising up his hand holding the dollar, the dollar icon. Right now there are many illustrations you can use for this. It's not necessary you use this alone. All right, you can use illustration of a real human being, not a 3D icon. Now a real human being, all right, holding a dollar cash on his hand. All right, you can make use of that. You can make use of different illustrations, but has to communicate the message of investment of dollar. All right, and there has to be an excitement on the person's face. So but I decided to make use of the 3D this 3D animation, this 3D icon of this young man holding the dollar symbol on his hand. All right, so this is all you need to know about this flyer. When you look at the color combination, you will see that the color blends well. You will see the blue, you see the light blue, the royal blue, you see the colors, you see everything on this design blends well. And then when you notice some minor colors, I did not make use of them dominantly on this design. You notice that just the blue and the white color is dominant on this design. It is quite important and it is intentional. I didn't make use of the brand color is this both color, right? But one is more dominant, right? So we have dominant and recessive color. The color that is more dominant for this brand is the blue color. And if you noticed on this design, I made use of the blue color most on this design. Right now, can you see this, guys? Now without any further ado, let's begin with the tutorial. Now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to lock this layer. I already have the color of my background, and you can see this is color. This is the color gradient I made use of. Here the first color I made use of is 173590. That's the first color gradient, and then the second color gradient I made use of is the gradient 000635. all right, so that's the gradient I made use of for this design. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on shape, and I'm going to choose gradient, and I'm going to choose this gradient, transparent and blue gradient. Now this is it. The first part will be transparent, the second part will be blue, and then I click OK. Now this is because I want to blend another background on my background. So but I need that background I want to blend to be transparent. So I'm going to add texture in this shape. So you move to texture, you click on texture. I'm going to pick a texture from my gallery, which is the background. Alright guys, so this is the background that I'm going to be adding as the texture. So I'm going to mark this, and you have something like this. Can you see this, guys? So this is the background. I'm going to just increase this, alright, because I want it to fill up this space this way. So can you see this? This is the background you make use of for the texture. Can you see this, guys? So once you have this, now let's bring up the design so you can see we're making progress. Now the next thing I'm going to start writing, I'm going to first create my meter rule. Alright, so I just want just 2 and 2. Right, so Yeah, let's have it this way. So I'm going to create my meta rule, have something like this. All right, because I want to align the text. I want to start writing the text and I want them to be aligned. So I'm done with this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to click on text and write the text smart invest. All right, so I'm going to write smart and invest, and the font I made use of is the Montserrat font. So I'm going to make the text size about 76. I want it to be quite big. All right, so I'm going to make the text size about 76. I'm going to click on font and I'm going to choose on the Montserrat, but it's going to be an italics Montserrat. So let's make use of Montserrat extra bold italic. Let's see. All right, so now I'm going to cover up the spacing, the line spacing. There's so much space in between that invest, smart invest. So okay, yeah, so let me change the typeface type. All right, let me change it. Let's see, Montserrat bold italics. Let's see. Okay, great. So let's make use of this, and then let me see if we need to cover the line spacing again. All right, so I think this is great. So that's the first thing we need to achieve. Now let me check out the original for the next thing we need to achieve. The next thing we need to achieve is to start writing our text, create our shapes, start writing our text. So the way you create the shape, you create a square shape, and then you work on the radius this way. All right, work on the radius this way. Now I'm just going to mark this and I'm going to reduce the opacity. So you reduce the opacity to, let's say, about 14. Yeah, so you reduce the opacity. Let's edit this again. All right, let's edit this again. Let me see. Okay, so if there's any adjustment, I will do that as we move on in the tutorial. So I'm going to move this smart invest this way so it can touch my margin, and then I'm going to move this way so it can touch my margin. Yeah, so you have something like this. Now let me bring in the 3D icon so that I can properly write my text. So let me bring in the 3D icon from my gallery. Okay, so this is the 3D icon, so I'm going to bring it here. I'm going to reduce the size this way, just place it here like this. So the next thing we need to do, I'm going to click on normal square shape like this. I'm going to increase it. I'm going to reduce the size this way, and then I'm going to rotate this way. So I'm going to have something like this here, like this, and then I'm going to copy this again and rotate this way and have something here like this. All right, so I'm going to take these shapes to back. I'm going to take this other shape also to back, so you have something like this. All right, you have something like this. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. All right, I think I need to rotate a little more. Let me see. Okay, let's see. I think this should be cool. Let's see. Okay, I think this should be cool. Yeah, so let's leave it this way. Now I'm going to lock this layer for this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to start writing the text. All right, so I'm going to check out the original. The next text to write is invest in dollar, blah blah blah. All right, so let me click on text, and then I'm going to put in that text. All right, so I'm just going to paste it from here. Yeah, great. So invest in dollar. So the font you're going to use, I made use of Montserrat font, typeface Montserrat, but yeah, so Montserrat medium, and then you have something like this. You click OK, and then you reduce this way. All right, so let me check out the size. Still reduce. Let's work on maybe 18. All right, let's see, maybe about 18, and then you do a little line spacing, just a little line spacing, a little. Let's talk about, let's say maybe 2. All right, a little line spacing, 2 thereabout. And then I'm looking at this shape. I might need to reduce this shape a little. I might need to reduce this shape a little. Let me see. Okay, so I'm going to place this here. I might need to reduce. I'm going to check out the original and see how I did that. Okay, all right, so I'm going to work on this shape, increase it a little this way, work on the invest, do more line spacing like this, increase this size a little bit this way. Now let's move this icon. We might move or reduce this icon. All right, because if you notice, the icon is touching our text. Yeah, so I might need to move this icon this way, right, like this. So you have something like this. You need to move this icon and you have something like this. Let me see, might need to reduce it. Let's see. All right, so let me reduce. Now it's too small, so let me increase a little bit, place it somewhere here. Great. All right, great. So I'm going to check out the original. Great. Now I'm going to lock the icon, and lock these shapes that we drew all right. And then I'm going to start imputing, copy this text, and then you write the full stop. You write the full stop, and then you click OK. Now I'm going to increase the size of this full stop, all right. And then I'm going to move, this way, move this way, move this way, like this, move this way like this, and then I'm going to move this invest in dollar. I'm going to move this way, yeah. And then I'm going to change the color of the text to this color here, right? And then you have this, which is the first dot, and then I'm going to copy this, and then do the same the second time. You move, all right, you move this way, all right, and then you move up, make sure it's aligned with the first dot. Make sure it's aligned, all right, make sure it's aligned. Don't just put the dot there. Yeah, you have the second dot, and then I'm going to copy one more time, and then I'm going to do this way, all right. And then you move again, you move, and then you place this way, all right, you place this way, yeah. Great. So you have something like this. Now the next thing we want to do is to lock these layers, and then copy this shape again, place it somewhere here. Make sure your margin is intact, all right. So you place it somewhere here this way, all right. Now I'm going to check out the original and see what we have in the original. So invest with, so I want to write that invest with right now. So that's what we want to do. So I'm going to let me check out the original again. Okay, so I'm going to write the text. Let's copy this text we used for this, and then going to paste, going to look for invest with, yeah. So we have this. Now I'm going to reduce this size this way. I'm going to reduce this way. I'm going to cover up the line spacing, because for this particular writing we don't really need line spacing, all right. So I'm going to cover up. You have something like this, invest with the real, with the one and one and only, yeah. So I'm going to bring up this, because I'm going to bring this up, yeah. So you have something like this. So now if you notice, this icon is covering our text, so we might need to reduce our text this way. And then for the shape where we wrote our text, we need to work on the shape, because the shape now is looking kind of big. So I'll need to work on the shape this way. I'll need to move down this shape this way. Let me see if this is cool enough. So let's bring up this text, this way, make it centralized. So you have something like this. Let's see if this is cool. Okay, so I think this is cool. So we have something like this. All right, so I think this is cool. Now the next thing I want to do is to write my the website, and then the call to action. So I'm going to move this shape up. All right, so now the next thing you want to do is to write the website. So I'm going to click on text, and then I'm going to write the website. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to paste in the website, www.wegoroy. all right, Wegoroy. So I'm going to change this to black. All right, so I'm going to change this to black. I'm going to place it here, make use of my meter rule. All right, place it here, and then I'm going to just make the Wegoroy bold, just the Wegoroy, nothing more. I'm going to make the Wegoroy bold. All right, so I'm going to work on this and make it bold, and you have something like this. Great. So the reason why I'm making the Wegoroy bold is for emphasis. All right, emphasis, nothing much, just for emphasis, to place emphasis on the name of the brand. Now I'm going to copy that wegoroy.com, and then I'm going to delete. I'm going to place the call to action, and then this is the call to action. So we're going to bring down the call to action, reduce the size. All right, reduce the size. All right, reduce the size, place it this way. Okay, but looking like the size is too small, so I will need to increase the size a little bit. The size is looking small, yeah. So we have something like this. I'm going to bring up this a little bit close to the Wegoroy, but not exactly. All right, not exactly, yeah. So we move this way for alignment. I'm going to move the Wegoroy this way for alignment. I'm trying to make sure that it's aligned with the date. All right, so I'm going to see if I can reduce one more here. So you reduce one more, have something like this. All right, bring this down this way, and then your design is aligned. Now if you noticed, everything I'm working on is aligned on the left alignment. Can you see this, guys, on the left alignment? Now the next thing we want to do is to write the text Wegoroy. All right, so I'm going to write go, and then I'm going to write Roy. Can you see this, guys? Now for this particular text, I'm going to make use of the popping font, because I want the text for the brand to be a bit different, not the same as the text we use for the design. So I don't want everything, the text to be the same all through. So that's the reason I'm making use of this text. So I'm going to click on margin. All right, I'm going to click on margin. I want to place the text in, I want it to be aligned in between the smart invest. So can you see this? I'm going to work on this way, and then I'm going to place the wiggle roll here like this. Reduce the size. You have the wiggle roll in between. So can you see what I'm doing, guys? I'm trying to make it in between, in between like this. All right, I'm trying to make it in between like this. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. All right, so I'm going to place it here, wiggle roll this way, make sure it's in between. All right, so we are good. I think we are good to go. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my draw tool, increase my smoothness to 100, and then choose the white color. Let me increase the pen size. So you just want to freestyle, just draw something beneath. So all right, so that's what I'm trying to achieve. Just freestyle. Make sure your hand is a bit straight. The pen should not be thick. All right, the pen size should not be too thick. All right, yeah, something light, and then you just draw behind something smooth. So I'm trying to get this straight, trying to ensure my hand is straight. Oh yeah, so let's just, yeah, great. So I'm going to increase this size this way. All right, let me reduce this way, and then you reduce the wiggle roll a little bit. Yeah, so let's just reduce the wiggle roll a little bit. Okay, and then let's move this shape this way like this, going to sit beneath the wiggle roll. All right, so just place it here. Like I said, this is all right. Yeah, okay, going to increase the size of this shape, place it beneath the wiggle roll. Can you see this, guys? Now the next thing you want to do is to change the color of just the go. All right, change the color of the go. All right, just to give it more beauty. So change the color of the go, highlight just the go, and then change the color of the go to this color. So can you see this, guys? So you have wiggle roll, and then now we're going to move the wiggle roll a little bit upward, because we drew a shape. So in order for this to be accurately centralized, we need to move it up again. We need to move it up. All right, so still going to move the wiggle roll a little bit up, and then we'll move this shape up also, and then you have something like this, and then you're good to go. So this is it for the first design. With this, you are done with the first design. So once you are done, you save. So let's save this as image, we save this as ultra, and then we save this into our gallery. We're good to go. Now the next thing we want to do is to create the second part of the design. So I'm going to bring in the second part of the design so that you guys can see it. All right, guys, so this is the second part of the design. I'm going to mark this. I'm going to increase this way. All right, so this is the second part of this design. So I'm going to delete everything for the first part, so you can see my layer panel. I'm going to delete everything, just leaving I'm going to delete everything. I'm going to delete this. 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 No, I'm going to leave that. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to delete everything except for the background. All right, and then the text. So I'm going to delete all other things except for the background and the text. So can you see this, guys? Now what we want to do now is to start editing for this second part. Let me explain the second part. So you can see it's a comparison between the bank way and the wiggle way. So you can see this, the bank way says deposit. All right, and then you see the illustration. You see this illustration of people queuing on the ATM, on the line, trying to withdraw from the ATM machine. Can you see this, guys? So it says deposit, withdraw with no interest. So when you go to the ATM stand, when you withdraw, do you get interest on what you deposited? No. All right, so but when you come to the wiggle way, it says deposit and withdraw with interest, and then you see like a dollar coin on this plant, trying to show that you planted or you deposited a dollar. Remember, for the first design, it says invest in dollars, invest as low as $1. Now you come here, you see this illustration of this $1 coin, all right, being invested, which symbolizes this green leaf sprouting up, being invested, and then you see this shape of this this arrow going up, speaking of after the investment there's an increase in your investment. So you can see the layers of layers of the dollar coin. So it's talking about the difference between the bank way and the wiggle way. Now the bank way, after your investment or your deposit, there is no return on investment, but then the wiggle way, there is a return on investment. So these two illustrations explains this. All right, so this is what we are going to be creating. So let's lock this layer. Let's make this layer invisible, and then let's also make this invisible. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on text, and then I'm going to write bank way. All right, I'm going to write bank way. All right, I'm going to make this full text. Now I'm going to bring this here. I'm going to click on font. The same font I used is the Montserrat font. All right, so I'm going to click on Montserrat bold italics extra bold. I hope this is the font I used, though kind of forgotten the exact font I used, but it's the Montserrat typeface that I used. So I'm going to close up the line spacing. So let's just make use of this. I'm not really sure this is the font, but let's make use of this. It works. This is the font, this is the typeface, but I'm not really sure this is the font. I'm not really sure if it's the extra bold. Let me see. Okay, it's not the extra bold. So I'm going to click on font again. I'm going to choose the Montserrat font, and let's choose bold italics. Yeah, great. So I made use of the bold italics, and I also made just the first letters capital, not all the letters. So I'm going to work on that right away. All right, so I'm going to click on way, make this just the first letter capital. Great, so you have this. Now let's work on our margin again. You have this, so I'm going to place this way. You have the bank way, which is this. All right, the bank way, which is this. Now I'm going to copy this text, and then I'm going to copy this text, and I'm going to write the wiggle way. All right, the wiggle, and then you write the way. Now you have something like this. Now you place this second one here. All right, so you place it here like this. Make sure that you work with your margin. So can you see this, guys? So you place it here, which is the wiggle way. Now we have these two differences. I might need to reduce the text, looking more like the text is kind of big. So I might need to reduce the text at some points that I feel like the text is too big. So let me reduce this text this way. Yeah, great. Now the next thing we want to do is we're going to check out the original, check out what is the next thing to do. So we're going to create that same shape that we created where we wrote invest. So we create the same shape. All right, we work on it this way, reduce the radius this way so that you can have something like this. All right, you can have something like this. Reduce the radius this way, have something like this. Great. And then you mark, and then you reduce the opacity. All right, and then you reduce the opacity to about 11, and then you copy this way, and then you place this second shape here. All right, you place the second shape here. You have something like this, and then let's move this margin this way downwards. So I'm going to move down this shape, all right, using my position tool. So you have two shapes behind. All right, so let me see if I should increase the brightness again. Let's see, about 13. Great, so you have this. Now the next thing we want to do is to start writing our text. So the first text, I'm going to bring up the text that I made invisible. So I'm going to take this text to front. Now the first thing I'm going to write is deposit, and the second thing I'm going to write, let me check out the original for the second point, is withdraw with no investment. All right, withdraw with no investment. So I'm going to write withdraw. All right, withdraw with no interest. Sorry, not investment, with no interest. Yeah, so withdraw with no interest. Yeah, withdraw with no interest. And then we're going to place this here, and then you do your line spacing. All right, you just do your line spacing, a little bit of line spacing, not something too much, and then you place here. Now if you notice, the shape is kind of big, so we might need to reduce the shape again using the edit tool. You just edit, reduce the size of the shape, and then you have something like this. You move your text upwards. All right, you move your text upwards. Yeah, so we copy this text again, and then we write deposit, and you remove the no, and for wiggle way you withdraw with investment. Now remember, we've reduced the shape, so I'm going to try and work on this shape again here so that I can reduce the shape. So I'm going to make use of my margins. So I'm going to click on the shape, and then click on edit, and then reduce the size of the shape. That's not it. So I'm going to click on edit and reduce the size of this shape this way, like this. You may see, so that it aligns this way. Yeah, great. So let's move the shape here. Let's move it back to, where it was. Yeah, great. So you have something like this. Great. So let's check out the original. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to move this text this way, move it up a little bit, move it this way, so that we can have our the full stop can stay. Now for this shape, I'm going to reduce it because if you notice the shape is going out of the margin. So I'm going to reduce this shape this way so that it doesn't go out of the margin. Great. So I might need to also reduce this way, not that way, this way, just reduce this way. So you have something like this. Let me see if it's aligning together. Let me reduce this way again. Let me see. Okay, awesome. So we have this. Now let's copy this text and then let's write the full stop. So I'm going to write the full stop. You click OK. You increase the size of the full stop a little bit, and then you change the color. You change the color to this, and then you bring down this way. All right, and then you bring down this way, this way. All right, you bring down this way. You move like this. All right, and then you bring down this way, and then you copy again. You copy this, and then you move down. You copy this, you move down, you move this, and then you place it on the part where you wrote withdraw with no investment. But make sure it's aligned, guys. Make sure it's aligned. So I'm going to move this way. Now I'm going to bold in just the no. All right, for emphasis. Now withdraw with no investment, just make the no bold for the sake of emphasis. So I'm going to highlight just the no and then make it bold, and then you have something like this. I might even go further to change just the text, the font type for the no. I might go further to highlight just the no. The reason is because I want to place emphasis that there is no interest when you deposit in the bank and you come to withdraw money. There's no interest. I can make this bold. All right, Montserrat bold, just the no, so you can see the no is bold. Now we come here, we copy this full stop. All right, and then we place it here for the deposit. You place it here for the deposit. You place it here, you move it here this way. All right, for the deposit, and then you copy again, and then you move it here again the second time. You move it here, and then you move this way. You place it here for the withdraw like this. All right, for the withdraw like this. All right, here like this, and then you have something like this. Now once you have this, you are good to go. Now the last thing we want to do here is to add illustrations that we used. All right, so let's bring the illustrations from our gallery. Okay guys, so these are the illustrations that we used for this design. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be adding realistic shadow behind these illustrations, guys. So for the first one, I'm going to click on draw tool. I'm going to increase my smoothness, and then I'm going to increase my pen size a little bit, and then I'm just going to draw this way. Just make sure it's kind of straight. All right, make sure what you are drawing is straight, guys. Make sure what you are drawing is straight. All right, so I'm trying to get a straight drawing. Let me increase my pen size a little bit. All right, yeah, so increase your pen size a little bit. Make sure your hand is straight. All right, make sure your hand is straight. Yeah, great, awesome. And then I draw this way. All right, and then I draw this way. Great, awesome. So I have my shadow here. Now I'm going to take this to back of these this illustration. I'm going to take it to back. Can you see this? Now I'm going to reduce the opacity, guys, and then I'm going to click on shadow and enable my shadow. But the shadow is too thick, so I'm going to reduce the opacity of the shadow to something like this. Can you see this, guys? So this is the opacity of the shadow, and I have this, and I am good to go. Awesome, I love this. You can even decide to take the shadow a little bit away from the illustration so that it could look more amazing. Can you see this, guys? Can you see this? So the shadow looks more amazing here. All right, so now the next thing is I'm going to add the second shadow, which is for this our illustration of this coin. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on shape, make this shape cycle, mark this, and then I'm going to rotate, 3D rotate, and then you rotate using the x-axis, but don't rotate to 90 degrees. All right, you can rotate to about 80 plus. All right, so you reduce the size of this, reduce this size until it becomes the equal size with the bottom of this flower vase. Now I think that's what it is. All right, so until it's this exact size. Now we move, we just move, we move this way, we move this way, we move this way. All right, we move this way, and then we take to back, we take this to back. All right, can you see this, guys? We take this to back, and then we reduce this size this way. All right, we reduce this size this way. Now we reduce the opacity. All right, and then we reduce the opacity, and then we click on shadow, we enable shadow, and you have something like this. Can you see this, guys? We enable shadow. Now we reduce this way again. All right, don't let the reduction be too much. All right, reduce this way again. All right, don't let the reduction be too much, reduce this way. Now you're going to copy again, you're going to copy this, and then you're going to bring this down here. All right, you're going to bring this down here, reduce this size this way, and then you place it beneath here like this. You place it beneath the coin. All right, place it beneath the coin, and then yeah, great. And then you move this way, you move down, move down this way, you place it beneath this coin. You copy again, you do the same for the remaining two. All right, you do the same for the remaining two. You make sure the shadow is not thick. You move this way, you move this way. All right, you move this way, you move this way like this, and you place it beneath. All right, you place it beneath. Great, place it beneath, and then you move it this way. Great. Now you copy one more time. All right, you copy one more time, and then you move this way, you bring it down. All right, great, you bring it down. All right, and then you take it beneath. All right, you take it beneath like this. Great, great. All right, so you take it beneath this shape. All right, like this. Awesome. And then once you are done, now can you see this, guys? You can see that there's realistic shadow beneath these illustrations. So once you are done, you save this as image, save as ultra, and then you are done with these two designs in the Pixellab. Now the last thing we want to do is to add certain effects, but these effects will be added in the PixArt application. So for instance, when you look at this design, I'm going to make this visible now. All right, I'm going to take it to front. So when you look at this design, you are going to see this stuff here at the top. You're going to see this light effect. You're going to see this effect here. So all those they were created in the PixArt application. So having saved the two designs, now let's go to the PixArt application. Alright guys, you're welcome to the PixArt application. So these are the things we are going to be using. So first, I'm going to be making use of these. I'm just going to place this here. Alright, secondly, I'm going to be making use of this light effect. Thirdly, I'll be making use of these and these. Alright, now the first thing we need to do, this is the first thing we're going to make use of. So I'm going to click on blend, and I'm going to click on lighting. All right, so you're going to click on lighting, and then I'm going to rotate this way, increase this size, rotate it this way, and then place it somewhere here. So can you see this, guys? Now if the size is too much, you can reduce the size of the shape, and then you place somewhere here. So I'm going to rotate again, and then you place it here. So that's the first shape. All right, can you see this, guys? Now the next thing I'm going to do is to bring up the next shape, which is let's see, bring up the next shape, which is this. Now I'm going to increase this size. I'm going to click on blend, I'm going to click on lighting, I'm going to rotate this way, and then I'm going to place it somewhere here. Rotate this way. All right, like this, trying to rotate, place it here like this. Can you see this, guys? So you place it here. So this is how you get the second shape. Place it here. Now the third shape I'm going to be bringing up, I'm going to bring in this lens flare here. Now I'm going to blur my lens flare because my lens flare is it's not perfect as I want it to be. So I'm going to blur it, increase the blurriness a little bit. I'm going to mark this. Now I'm going to click on blend. I'm going to change the mode to add. Now I'm going to click on adjust. Now if you notice, this lens flare is yellow in color, but my design is not yellow, so I need to work on the lens flare. So I'm going to click on hue, and I'm going to reduce the hue to -180, so you have this blue amazing feel. And then I'm going to mark this, increase this size. I'm going to place it here, but before I do that, I'm going to bring in this here this way. So I'm going to place the lens flare here. So can you see this, guys? You have one lens flare here, and I'm going to bring in this effect. I'm going to place this effect here. All right, but I'm going to rotate it this way like this. So I'm going to place this effect here like this. So you have your lens flare, and then you have an effect here. Alright guys, so once you are done placing the lens flare here, you can decide to copy this lens flare and place it somewhere here on your design. But once you are placing it somewhere here, ensure that it does not get too close to your text. Alright, so once you are done with this, you save the design. And then the last thing you want to do on this design is to enhance it in the Adobe Lightroom. Now I'm going to bring in the second design. I'm going to click on add photo and bring in the second design. Alright guys, for the second design, you replicate the same process, alright, the exact way I did it. You replicate the same process, alright. You change this blend mode to lighting, you increase the size this way, and then you place it somewhere here like this. You replicate the process for all, the second process. You change the blend mode to lighting, and then you increase the size. You place it somewhere here like this, you place it somewhere here like this. Now you come with this this effect. You place this effect somewhere here like this, you place it somewhere here like this, you rotate it, you place it somewhere here like this. Now you come with your light effect, you change the blend mode, to add, and then you click on the adjust, you change the hue to -180, you increase the size, you place it somewhere here like this. Then you work on the effects, you go to effects of the light effect, and then you click on the blur, you increase the blur size. All right, you increase the blur size, and then you have something like this. And then with this, you are good to go with this design, guys. So can you see, guys, this is how I created this design using my Pixellab and Picsart application. So there are other effects that I gave to it, but if you want to give those effects, you make use of the Lightroom application to enhance your design more effectively. If you want to understand how to make use of the Lightroom from the beginning to the end, you check out my course in this video description. When you get my course on Lightroom, it will help you understand how to make use of the Lightroom application. So guys, thank you so much for staying till the end of this tutorial. I hope you've learned something new and amazing today. I'm going to share the resource file with you guys. Please check the video description. You will see the link to download the resource files used for this design. And please guys, if you want to get the full design, please, I'm going to share the link of this full design, in the video description of this tutorial. You're going to see the Behance. All right, check out my Behance profile. You're going to see the full design. Please do well to follow and do well to like the design on my Behance page. Until next time, guys, see you guys.